Welcome to Sun, Sea and Cyanide, a podcast in which me, Lauren Donahue, and my co-host, Billy Hotchkiss, re-watch and review Death in Paradise from the very beginning. One of us has never seen the show before and the other has watched all 11 series. Will we be able to solve the murders, stand the heat and stay on topic? So, how are you this week?
Well, it's the final episode of the series.
Yeah, that's fun.
So I'm doing good. I think we've had a great run of 8 episodes.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every episode, we set out 3 questions. Have we ever solved a murder?
I think I did, yeah.
No. The answer is no. The answer is no.
How dare you? I solved at least one.
I haven't listened back to any of it yet, so maybe we did. But to my memory, we didn't solve any murders.
I solved at least one, I think.
And we didn't stay on topic.
No, definitely not.
And we haven't stood the heat.
No.
So all in all, it's been a very successful podcast.
Yeah, it's been great.
But have you enjoyed this series?
It's been very fun, yes. I highly enjoyed it, yeah.
Yeah. Name a specific. Go on.
Specific.
Go on.
What?
If you enjoyed it so much, tell me exactly what happened.
Well, that one episode with the limes in it. That weren't actually limes.
I googled that, and I still don't understand. It's something to do with limestone. I know it's not real. Now I'm aware that it's not real limes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's reflect on how we've done. I think we've done well.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to doing the second series. It's been good, and I'm looking forward to continuing.
Yeah, I'm really excited for season 2. I can't wait to see what happens.
Yeah, more Poole, more Camille,
Yeah.
more Dwayne, more the other one, Fidel.
There we go.
More Commissioner, more Catherine, more murder, more limes, more murderers, more murderees.
What is that? Hopefully less romance plot, but I'm probably wrong about that.
This feels like a conversation for the end of the episode.
Yeah, definitely. What did you think?
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed
Yeah.
it. This was another one like last week. I didn't remember this. Not to say it was difficult to solve, like in a way that I enjoyed it because it surprised me.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, it's quite easy to solve. And even though I didn't remember what happened, immediately you're like, it's Adrian Dunbar.
Yeah.
It's him. He's the killer.
Yeah.
But I think it's such an ingenious solving in that kind of puzzle sense.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And the fact that it involved our queen a little bit more as well. So like she was like
I
slightly
felt
more involved
so sorry for her
yeah,
this episode.
I felt really bad for her.
I felt so sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get to it. That slap.
You go, girl.
I thought she was going to knee him in the balls.
Yeah, that would have been so much better.
And for the first time in this episode, I felt bad for D.I. Richard Poole.
Yeah, because like you could tell he really wanted to get home, and I was against the commissioner for once.
Honestly, the commissioner was so petty this episode.
Yeah.
And at the end where he's like, you can report me, and he's like, to who? He's like, the commissioner.
The amount of sass right then.
That I'm like, okay, that's
well played.
yeah. We should probably review this episode called Amongst Us. Yeah, so this episode is series 1, episode 8. It's called Amongst Us. No, sorry. This episode is called Among Us. I'm just going to say Among Us the whole time. The synopsis is as followed. No? Sorry, the synopsis is as follows.
There you go.
Dwayne ends up embroiled in a murder investigation when a piece of incriminating evidence is found at the scene of a crime. Can Richard solve the case and meet a deadline that means he will finally get what he wants? That means he will finally get what he wants, a return home. See, that setup, which it played heavily off in like the next time. The concept of one of the police officers being a suspect is good. It's a good concept.
Yeah.
I think the episode throws it away like immediately.
Yeah, it was very underutilized considering how
Underutilised,
heavily it was featured in the next time clip.
It was the marketing. I mean, it's the whole
Yeah.
synopsis.
Yeah.
And it's like immediately Dwayne's like, I didn't do it, and everyone's like, okay.
Yeah, except Poole, who's just like, he needs to follow procedure, and then he's like, actually, never mind, you didn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, they only have 4 police officers.
Yeah.
So to lose one is like...
Yeah.
I mean, all that being said, episode 1 did feature a police officer
That is very
murdering
true.
another police officer.
Yeah. Almost like a cyclical narrative almost to have like one police officer as like the murderer in episode 1 and then have him as a suspect in the last episode of the season but not be the murderer. Almost.
Yeah, I do. It feels thematically cyclical, the
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
That kind of first episode that's all about human trafficking.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god. Was that the door?
I think so. That fucking scared me. Oh, Jesus. Right, okay.
The door moved by itself. Oh my god. Maybe it's a ghost.
Haunted.
The spirit of Richard Poole. So we open and everyone's drinking at Catherine's bar. I note here that they mentioned Fidel's wife for the first, not for the first time, but I think they mentioned her by name for the first time.
I can't remember. Maybe.
And you know what? Even though they mentioned her name, I didn't even write it down.
Fair. I didn't either, to be fair.
We see that Adrian Dunbar is Camille's new stepdad. In a move that screams he's the killer.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to introduce the murderer in the episode previous.
Yeah. Well, that's really interesting.
Yeah, that's a move you don't see coming.
No.
Apart from the fact we saw it coming.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Because he does nothing that like it. The episode, what it's trying to do is warrant. He's a new character that's established that we're meant to believe is just not to service of the main plot of a murder.
Yeah.
But to establish character dynamics. So therefore, he's given kind of. We're meant to believe he's like secondary character status.
Yeah.
Of like Catherine and the Commissioner.
Yeah.
And if he was better established as that,
it would have been a bit.
it would have been a bit
Yeah.
more shocking.
Yeah.
Like maybe, honestly, it would have been if it was pulled off correctly, it would have been a cool move.
Yeah,
To
definitely.
have him like established like early doors, episode 1, episode 2.
Yeah, that would have been a lot more interesting of a dynamic to
And
have.
then in the finale, it being like you were a killer the whole time.
Yeah. Because that like almost like emphasizes how dangerous some murderers can actually be. Because like they're like most of them were likable.
And I mean that's what I think that's what the title of the episode is alluding to.
Yeah.
That kind of that the killer is among us.
Yeah.
as amongst the main characters.
Yeah.
There is a killer.
Yeah.
At the bar, Dwayne bumps into a woman. They get talking. He walks her home, and she invites him in for coffee at around 10 p.m.
For coffee. quote unquote.
No, I from the way she said it, I said in a protection way and not a sexy way.
Yeah, and then Dwayne said they cuddled as well, though.
They had sex.
Yeah,
That's
cuddled.
TV language for had sex.
Cuddled.
That's how his police badge ended up under the bed.
Yeah.
In the morning, there's been a murder. They drive to the murder scene. We meet neighbour Georgie Westcott, who found the body after Nadia, who's the murder victim, didn't show up for their carpool. Nadia has a dog that barks at strangers. I said this means that she was killed by someone she knows because the dog didn't bark.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like Knives Out. Have you ever seen Knives Out?
I have not.
Well, that's a massive spoiler for Knives Out.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's cool.
Are you gonna watch the film?
Probably not. Dunno.
It's a good film. There's a sequel coming out this year.
Oh, fun. Maybe I will watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe I will watch it.
It's such a campy ode to murder mysteries that even if it's honestly it's quite easy to solve.
Okay.
Just like visually and thematically.
Yeah.
It's like just like you know. I mean, for a podcast, this makes no sense.
Yeah.
like a warm murder mystery hug.
Yeah.
They find Nadia dead in her bed. Her mouth is full of coins, which is psychopathic.
Yeah, definitely.
That's like some what was it called? Was it called Luther?
Yeah.
The Idris Elba one.
Yeah, that's Luther.
And like every murderer was a full like sociopath.
Yeah.
I use those words interchangeably and they do not mean the same thing.
No, they don't.
Every murderer was a psychopath. It was very psychopathic.
Yeah.
They notice that the furniture's not straight, and under the bed they find Dwayne's police badge.
By they, you of course mean Poole, because Camille didn't really see anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, she was too busy looking at some crosswords.
Yeah.
Which are important.
Dun, dun.
Were you intrigued by this opening?
I was, yeah, because this murder was almost different from all the other ones just because of the fact that her mouth had been stuffed with coins.
The dramatic nature of the murder.
Yeah. That's quite out there. I've got some notes about like when Poole was a bit upset that he hadn't been invited on their night out. I think I said, "Shut up, Poole, you baby. I get it though."
Oh yeah, I mean that bit.
Yeah.
I mean, what is ruder? Not asking someone to hang out, or being asked to hang out and always saying no.
I think it's not. I in my opinion, I think it's not being asked out just because. I might change my mind at some point. Like I don't know, and then it's kind of not great when you find out that your mates have been like on a night out and haven't told you about it. Yeah, like that's quite hurtful.
But I mean, I am the kind of person who'd be like, "Do you want to come out?" And I'll be like, "No."
Yeah, it's nice to be asked though.
Personally, it feels nicer to be asked and refuse
than to not be asked and then find out later that they went out without you. Yeah,
because even
like
though if I'd seen like friends would go out and I hadn't even known,
that's ruder to me.
I'd feel bad. Yeah. Even though you wouldn't go to begin with, it's just nice to be asked. I would have said no immediately.
Because it's like, oh, you thought of me, that's nice, but I don't want to go. Thank you for asking, though.
However, I do think Camille is justified because, as she says in the scenario, like, we stopped asking because you said no every time.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to preface, I will say yes at some point.
Yeah, like it's just if I change my mind, then yes, I would like the option to come rather than just inviting myself if you are going out. Or like,
I mean, and they're going out all the time.
Yeah,
he went to their pop concert.
Yeah. Does Does that not mean nothing? Does that
I mean,
mean
it
nothing
turned
to them?
into work.
Yeah, but he still went though.
He went,
Yeah.
and that's the thing in the first place.
Yeah, so like on a rare occasion, it'll go with you.
The way in which episode 1, we were like, Paul is such an unlikable character,
Yeah.
and we're out here actively defending him.
I think it's just because we felt bad for him this episode because like he couldn't go home.
We found out Nadia works for a shipping company. He's the finance director.
Yeah.
Paul thinks Nadia was killed and her house was then searched. Why kill the victim before they can tell you where the thing you're looking for is? Which is honestly true, and I still don't know why Aidan didn't do that. Was that explained, or did I miss it?
No, I don't think it was explained. I think it's just because while murderers can think through and like premeditate their murders, they are also still idiots. In other respects, so maybe he just didn't think it through properly. Plus, oh no, he didn't really have the dog to deal with, did he?
Probably because the crime was rather a crime of revenge.
Yeah.
So if she's dead,
he's at least got one thing.
Find, yeah,
he's at least got one thing off his list.
It's less likely
of
people
things to
find
do.
the files.
Yeah.
We go to Nadia's work where we speak to her boss. I recognise that actor.
Yeah, so did I. I can't
remember from where.
I can't remember what he's been in either. I think he was in another police show, but I can't remember.
He's called Danny Webb. Usually when I notice an actor, you type into Google their name and then Doctor Who after it.
Oh, God.
Danny Webb played John Jefferson in the Doctor Who television stories The Impossible Planet and the Satan Pit.
Okay.
Anyway, he says her skill was finding tax loopholes. Which is a bold thing to tell the police.
Yeah.
And also that she didn't approve of debt and she didn't own a credit card. Which is the first clue to say that she's not what she seems.
Yeah.
He also states that Georgie, the neighbour, who was the secretary at the work, felt overshadowed by Nadia, and they weren't natural friends. But also at the same time, he's a creep.
Yeah, I got creepy vibes from him when he was talking about like his employees and everything. It was like he did seem like a bit of a creep. Yeah.
It's all that dabbing himself with a cloth.
Yeah, I think that might be what it is, because, and then he was a bit nervous about them taking Nadia's laptop as well.
Because it had sensitive work material on it.
Sensitive work material, quote unquote.
No, you're a social predator. That's what the sensitive work material is.
Yeah.
I said, we then go to a scene with Catherine and Aidan. How long do you think between episodes, like in the world of Death in Paradise, time is?
I don't know.
Because sometimes it's like it's a week.
Yeah, and then other times it's just an indeterminate amount of time. Because
we really jumped in the timeline of Catherine's relationship.
Yeah. I think the only way to really tell how long has passed is by when they mention Fidel's wife's pregnancy. Because I don't know how long.
So in episode 3, we had an argument about this last time.
Yeah, I won, by the way.
In episode 3, Dwayne gifts Fidel baby shoes.
Yeah.
And he says, "For your future children." I can't remember if it was implied that Fidel wanted kids or was having kids at that point.
I interpreted it as he was having kids, but it was too early to determine the gender of the baby.
So where in the timeline would that be?
I don't know.
Should we say first couple of weeks?
Yeah.
And then she gives birth now.
In this episode.
Which is presumably early because of the whole rush at the end. So let's
I think she was 2 weeks early, wasn't she?
2 weeks early?
I think so, yeah.
So 8 months between episode 3 and episode 8?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not doing any more math.
Yeah. Pregnancy's complicated.
We then see John Thompson's character, break into the victim's house.
Yeah.
Were you suspicious of him?
No. Just because they seem to be playing up that he was a suspicious character, so I figured he's probably important, but he's probably not the murderer.
It was very like, was it Samuel Kingston?
I think
in the one with the boat.
Yeah.
The boat where it like really played up that like I'm the killer, I'm evil. It's like, well, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Like they played him up too much.
It was very
like
that, but also
character.
no need to just punch through that door.
No, not at all. Especially when it's a crime scene and you're an officer.
Yeah, and he like, because like Fidel sees him and he's like all mysterious and that. And I know it's for like TV.
Yeah.
But like when they finally find out he's a police officer, which isn't hidden information.
Yeah.
He willingly gives them. So why was he so shady and mysterious?
I don't know. Unless it's just
why
because...
did he break into a crime scene? I'll just go, hi, I'm John Thompson, I'm from the police.
It's so weird. Unless it's just because like the case that he was working on was like a top secret quote unquote case or something, so he couldn't let too many people in on it. I know, but I don't...
he does let them in on it.
I know, which is why it's even more confusing. I don't know.
He marks the 4th British police officer in this series, which is a lot, and I think probably the record.
Yeah.
A neighbour made a complaint about the dog 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Which means the dog is the clue of the week.
Yep. Fun times.
I mean, did you guess that?
Like right at the end when Poole said that the dog will probably like approach the murderer, I felt like a tinge of familiarity, like I had seen the episode before, but I didn't remember any of it.
I remember a dog. I do remember a dog, but I was surprised to be like, oh my god, she microchipped a dog with a memory stick.
Yeah, it was a bit weird. I think I like slightly remembered when I saw Thingy's face when Poole mentioned the dog, because like he got really nervous. I can't remember his name. Catherine's lover.
He was called Aidan.
Yeah, Aidan.
Played by Adrian Dunbar.
Yeah.
They go to speak to the neighbour again, and she reveals that Nadia gave her an envelope. In the envelope, and that's why she was worried that morning, because she'd already like teed her up basically.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm gonna be murdered. Inside the envelope is cash, a passport, and a 2-year-old's vet. Cash, a passport, and a
vet bill from 2 years
bill.
old, from 2 years ago.
That's better phrasing. A vet bill from 2 years.
There you go. Which is coincidentally also how long she's been living in Summary. I think.
Oh, I didn't get that bit. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
She moved. I think it was established that she moved there 2 years prior.
Yes, so the passport in the book has a different name.
Yeah.
It's Rose Duchamp, which means Nadia Salim.
Yeah.
It's a fake name.
Dun dun dun.
The plot thickens.
Yeah, definitely.
What's your fake name?
What?
What's your fake name? If you were to have a fake name, what would it be?
I'm not really that creative, to be honest. I'd probably keep my first name and then take my mum's maiden name. So I'd be Lauren Bond instead. My mum's maiden...
Bond.
Yeah,
Lauren Bond.
my mum's maiden name is Bond.
I think you'd be found immediately, if I'm honest.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not trying to go missing though, so it's fine. I'm not on the run.
I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Because if I take my mum's maiden name, it was Sheeran. I'd be Billy Sheeran, which is my granddad's name. So it's an immediate connection.
Yeah.
I mean, saying that, my name is Billy Hotchkiss now, which is my other granddad's name. So I think you just change your name to like I don't know, but I thought about having a fake, like a fake name.
Yeah.
To be like, honest. Oh no. Okay, here's the thing, right? Sometimes, if I've ever thought about complaining.
Oh, you'll go under a fake name rather than.
No,
okay.
no.
Okay, right.
No.
Where is this going?
I've considered creating a false identity in order to complain.
Okay.
And yeah, so the passport has a different name, Rose Duchamp. Rose Duchamp is on an intelligence list flagged by SOCA, an acronym I did not get the words down for.
Neither did I.
But I did get that they were based in London.
Yeah.
And the S and the C are serious crime. They wouldn't disclose anything over the phone, but they revealed there is a safeguarding officer already on the island. And immediately I was like, it's either Aidan or John Thompson.
Yeah.
So it is John Thompson.
Yeah.
Who's called Mr. Ricketts.
See, I think I didn't find him suspicious because of the fact that they were playing up how suspicious he was. So to me, that made him not suspicious.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he tells Paul that a year ago, a woman from Antigua phoned to report evidence of money laundering. The head honcho caught wind and she ran away. She'd stolen files from her boyfriend, which would blow the whole operation open. And 2 days ago, she called Ricketts and they traced the call to Sainte Marie. He says the ex-boyfriend has to be the murderer. And at this point, I'm like, in all capital letters, he is the murderer.
Yeah, definitely.
Because again, I mean, I don't know if it maybe just this first season that it's like another one of these episodes where it's like the murderer has to be this certain character.
Yeah.
But like that's none of the suspects. Like the boat one, where like who is the murderer, but all the suspects weren't on the boat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That like.
Yeah.
I mean, I was still completely enthralled with the story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of him and Catherine have a heart-to-heart about being single post long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And then they snog. It was quite a kiss.
Yeah, quite. Yeah.
Heavy tongue. Honestly, Catherine.
You go,
good
queen.
for her, yeah, good for her. That's why I felt so bad, because this whole series, she's been like so selfless and like looking after Paul when he's sick.
Yeah.
And then finally she like gets something.
And then it's
immediately snatched away.
Yeah.
At this point, Ricketts says that the boyfriend, who must be the killer, is invisible, so nobody knows what they look like, apart from the fact he's Irish and he starred in Line of Duty. And Paul says the killer must be a professional.
Yeah.
An assassin. You could always say, no, sorry, let me start again.
Oh, no.
You could almost say the killer is an imposter.
Sus.
Honestly,
oh god.
Aidan was sus this whole episode. And Paul called an emergency meeting at Catherine's bar. No, John Thompson vented through that door.
Oh god. Everyone's caught up. No one's listening.
End the episode right there.
Oh, good. Anyway,
the commissioner arrives and says Paul has an opportunity to get his old job back in London, but he must phone back in the next 2 hours.
Pretty
Paul is angry that the commissioner didn't tell him sooner.
Yeah.
But the commissioner wants him to stay.
Still pretty shitty of him to sit on that for at least a few days.
I know.
And then tell him like right when he's in the middle of a case that he's trying to solve.
Yeah.
And then also just 2 hours from the due date.
It doesn't reflect well on the commissioner.
No.
Here. But if you were the commissioner, where you've got a police department, there's only only four police officers. If we're being honest, Poole is a good detective.
Yeah.
And like, they probably won't send you any more resources, so you'd want to keep.
Yeah, you'd want to keep that avenue open.
Yeah. I mean, it's still really bad because
it is.
Poole seems like a pain to work with.
Yeah.
Anyway, then they bump into Aidan, so Poole and Aidan meet, so we know he's the killer.
Yeah.
And it turns out he's flying back home tomorrow.
I wonder why.
Maybe it's just because he killed his ex-girlfriend. Anyway, then Paul goes back to the police station to make the phone call, and then he realises her name is a clue. And we'll get back to it.
Yeah.
We'll get back to that one. He then offers to buy everyone drinks.
Yeah.
Because he thinks he's going home.
First of all, we find out that there were more coins lodged in Rose's throat as well, so 30 silver coins altogether.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a Judas move.
Yeah.
Okay, then everyone, we get all the characters at Catherine's bar, apart from the boss and the neighbour, who are both established suspects.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they did invite Georgie because she had the dog.
Yeah.
But I mean, the other neighbour. That thought was weird because it's the only time there's like been suspects and they weren't invited.
Yeah.
Back. Like even the stage manager last week, he was invited back.
Yeah, I feel like that was kind of an oversight by the writers because they were introduced for like one or two scenes and then never seen again. So maybe they just forgot that they existed.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
Paul says logically the killer will be looking for the files.
Yeah.
But she didn't have the files because it wasn't in her house. It was in the envelope.
Yeah.
At this point, I wrote, OMG, it's the dog. I thought in some way, like...
The dog's important.
Like the dog was the files.
Very eloquently put.
The killer saw Rose with the policeman and had to act. Harry the dog didn't bark at him because he knew the killer was because the killer was the boyfriend. It's why Rose was frightened at the bar last night. She saw him. Who could it be at this point? And then when they release the dog, he will run to the killer.
Yeah.
And I thought, honestly, this is the coolest moment of the series. She left one final clue because she was such a fan of puzzles. That her fake name spelt backwards. No.
I think it was an anagram for
it. It was an anagram of her
name.
Yeah. I just immediately looked at the name and I was like, no.
It did say something weird about it being backwards in the show though, so...
It definitely said in the show it was backwards, but it's not.
No, it's not. I think the first name's backwards. Was this I don't...
No, it is because it's the way we spell Nadia.
Yeah.
Because Nadia is spelled with an A, but in the show, the backwards spelling of Aidan is Nedia, which is Nadia but with an E.
Yeah.
Because Salim is miles backwards. That's the coolest moment of the series.
That was clever. Yeah, very clever.
So at that point, Aidan makes a run for it and Fidel captures him.
Yeah. And
then Icon Catherine gives him the biggest slap ever.
Yeah. And then...
In the saddest moment of the series.
Yeah. And then Fidel's wife's water's broken and she's giving birth.
Yes. They'll rush to the hospital where there isn't any signal. And then, in the pettiest move of the series, the commissioner fully lies about having full bars. And then goes, you can report me to the commissioner.
Oh god, the sass in this episode.
This was a sassy episode.
It was, and I loved every second of it.
And Paul is stuck on the island. Fidel introduces everyone to his daughter, but not his wife, who stays behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Imagine giving birth, and then your husband's like,
I need to show this baby to my friends.
No, not even that. I need to show this baby to my work colleagues.
Yeah.
And also John Thompson, who is there. Who's this complete stranger you've just met. Who's actually pretty rude to you yesterday.
Oh. God.
It's a girl, and Paul holds a baby for the first time, and then she throws up on him.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the episode though as a whole?
I did, yes. I was slightly distracted halfway through because of personal issues, but yeah,
You can't just bring that up. You have to tell me.
I was having a slight disagreement with my boyfriend.
Oh. So you killed him and you put 30 pieces of silver in his mouth.
Yeah, all the way from Preston when he's all the way all, yeah.
If we were to rate this out of 10, what are we doing this week?
Should we do Among Us characters? Go with me.
10 sussy imposters.
Yeah. Oh god.
There's nothing to do with the episode at all. If you had
to with the title.
If you had to rate this episode out of 10 sus imposters, how many sus imposters would you rate this?
Maybe like a 7, I'd say. I'm gonna rate like a solid 7.
I'd say 8.
Hmm.
Because I thought it was good. It wasn't as good as episode 2.
Yeah.
So now we're at the end of the series. This is your first time watching series 1 of Death in Paradise.
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed it?
I have, yeah, very much so, yeah. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, to be honest, because like when I watched the first 2 episodes when they first aired, I thought it was kind of cringy and bad, but like looking back and re-watching it, I enjoyed it.
Have you got a favourite episode then?
I think it might be episode 2. Because that was a really good
I'd
episode.
have to agree with you, episode
Yeah.
2. Episode 2 has been the standout of the series
Yeah.
for me.
Either episode 1 or episode 2, because episode 1 was up there as well.
Mm. And obviously the standout character has to be Catherine.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm excited now because towards the end of this series, I couldn't remember who the killer was. So it's fun for me again. Okay, so it's the end of the series, so I thought we should celebrate.
Okay.
So I bought you a gift.
Okay.
Because we talked about gift giving and how we are rubbish at gift giving. Yeah. So I've bought you a gift.
I didn't get you anything, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't worry, I didn't spend a lot of money on it or anything.
Did you wrap it at least?
No.
How dare you?
So, put your hands out and close your eyes.
Oh, God. Okay.
It's quite dangerous.
I'm scared.
It's quite dangerous.
Great.
In fact, you could say it may dissolve your hands.
Okay, lovely. Can I open my eyes?
Yeah, you can open your eyes now. It's a lime!
Oh my God. I'll cherish this for as long as it lasts.
I mean, be careful because, as we all know,
Oh,
you
God.
can not only make a patio with that lime,
You can dissolve a body.
you can dissolve a body. And this is also my apology for deleting that episode.
Yeah. Appreciate it. Thank you.
To commemorate the time where we spoke for an hour and didn't record.
Thank you for listening.
I mean, yeah, I hope you'll stick around with us.
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the ride with us.
Yeah, this first series, and I hope you'll stick around for series 2.
Yeah.
Because we've got a lot more thoughts on the show.
A lot more tangents.
A lot more series to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get in touch with us on our email and social media, which will be in the description.
Yes, don't forget to leave a review of the podcasts.
Tell us your thoughts and theories.
Did you enjoy the series?
Yeah.
What was your favourite episode?
How many imposters would you rate this episode out of?
Wow, what a series.
Yeah.
Go. Limes, yogurts, everything. It's been a blast. I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Do you think having watched 8 episodes of this show, you'd be able to solve a real murder?
I'm gonna say no. Being someone who also watches true crime, I'm going to say no.
I have the false confidence to say yes. No.
Very bold.